Good Sunday evening. How we doing? Welcome to the weather markets. This is ATI ProMedia. I am Tommy Grisafi, and we have Brady Huck, who's going to join us in a few minutes here. If the markets are busy on Sundays, we might start going live. If you haven't been watching, we go live every day at 9 a.m. Then we have premium content. I was interested to see how the markets react today. A lot of things happened last week. We really moved the markets to a point where you go through the 20, the 50, the 100-day moving average, and we have our charts up live. My coworker and co-host here of the show, Brady Huck, is going to come on in a few minutes. Brady is from Dodge City, Kansas, and he is a commodity broker, and he also sells LRP insurance. He's a real cowboy. He really has cows. And for those of you who don't quite remember who Brady is, I have this little pop-up.
Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas, contributor, ATI ProMedia.
Oh, yeah, Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas. Should have been a cowboy. Whew. Man, happy Sunday, buddy. Markets are down pretty good. They're down really good. How's your new internet working? Tell everyone how you got your internet beefed up.
We're working on it here. Yeah, you never know; it's always changing, but we're seeing it. Yeah, it seems to be going okay right now. It'll be a test drive.
Speed test where you speed test it, and then the
yeah,
thing.
my upload was much better, which helps. But we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
Good. Let's take a little look at the markets here, Mr. Huck. Right now, July corn's down 5 3/4. Dece corn, I have to check on that, but I imagine that's not too much better here. December corn down 5 1/2. December corn 4.77. Let's look at the soybeans. They opened unchanged, went up a few pennies. We have a big special video. A lot of the reason I want to do this tonight was just talk about that video Connor and Cesar did. So soybeans are down 3. Big selling in wheat. It's nice that you joined. KC Wheat's down 19. Did your area of Dodge City, Kansas get moisture?
Yes, we did get some moisture Friday night. Yeah, I had an inch in spots, half an inch in others, but there were still some areas that missed out. So you feel bad for those that didn't get it, but the guys who got it are thankful for it. And that's a big rain for wheat country and a timely rain. Not everybody got it though, but Dodge City did, and Dodge City needed it. Dodge City South did. You go north of Dodge, they missed out. I'll try to get a little map of that rainfall and be able to load it up here.
T-Storm had that. We use T-Storm for weather. We use a few other folks also. All right. Real quick, I want to talk about what we did on Friday. Folks, if you're out there watching, Gina G, my wife, Gina Grisafi, she also works at Advanced Trading. If you call 1-855-737-FARM or email us at info@ATI ProMedia, if you're not a subscriber of premium content, I want to talk about for about 30 seconds what we talked about on Friday. I wish I would have known about this on Tuesday or Wednesday. It would have saved me a little money and aggravation. But on a positive note, we were really able to get some soybeans hedged for people. Old crop sold. I feel like a lot of old crop corn got sold. Let's talk about this premium content. Trouble in South America. That's Connor Bridgman on the left, who you guys know is our co-host here at ATI ProMedia. That's Cesar Cruz, Dr. Cesar Cruz. He is really smart right there. Dr. Cesar Cruz, Advanced Trading. He could have done the whole talk in Portuguese. He's the man. So Dr. Cruz and Connor got together and talked about all the things going right or wrong in South America. Now, they were off to big planted acres, or as they call them, hectares. They had a lot of planted ground. But huge floods in parts of Brazil, and Dr. Cruz broke it down. So if you're out there, if you're not a subscriber to Premium, 1-855-737-FARM, email us at info@ATI ProMedia. I'll get you this video. This is a 40-minute video. Very interesting doing that. I don't know if you had time to watch it yourself. It's kind of weird. I was there live switching it. I let them do it, and I was in the back clicking the buttons. And I didn't hear as much of it because I was actually clicking, and then I went back and listened to it again. But at the end,
I thought it was great. Yeah, I mean, Dr. Cruz always provides valuable insight in that boots on the ground approach because he's got contacts there, Tommy. Right? I mean, he's got people he's talking to and getting some great videos from. He shared a few video clips in there. Really good stuff in that video. And kind of eye-opening to me a little bit as to the South, how wet things were there, and some of the logistic pieces of that. Don't want to give the whole clip away, but I think we shared it with a number of people.
No, I mean, we're gonna give it a, even if people aren't subscribers to premium, we got a one. I don't even know if people know what premium is, but let's run that real quick here. I feel like tonight's a little bit of an infomercial, but we're going to do some educating too and break down the charts. Let's talk to people about what ATI ProMedia Premium is here real quick, Brady. Stand by.
Yeah.
Welcome to ATI ProMedia, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. Well, there it is, folks. So we go live, myself, Brady, Huck, Connor. We have some other great co-hosts. They don't pop on as much. There's people behind the scenes you don't see, Joe, Rick. We talk markets every day live at 9. That's free. Then we do premium, and we're up to about, maybe we have 20 some contributors. I'd like to get up to 50, but it's a process to send someone a headset and get them going. And speaking of headsets and mics, I worked all weekend on some different things with audio, though, but I have an audio board that's going to give us a lot more freedom to add sounds and stuff. So
Cool.
if you're not a subscriber, we wish you were to the premium, but if anything else, start with subscribing to the Advanced Trading YouTube channel. We just crossed our 10,000th subscriber. Now, some of these subscribers are robots and bots. Some are real people. We can see who subscribes. But look how excited this guy was. Look at that guy. Oh my, 10,000 subscribers. Folks, that's at the Advanced Trading YouTube. You go on YouTube, you search Advanced Trading or ATI ProMedia. Pretty wild to see what this has become from when you and I and Connor started talking about it to you
grown.
flying in for pictures, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
Sometimes you just don't know how it's going to evolve and where it's going to go, but it's come a long ways from, I don't know how many subscribers we've picked up in the last 8 months. And then, you talk about the channel growing, but we've also grown in our skill set and always learning from the best, TG himself.
Yeah, well,
good to
at
learn from him.
7:05 when I didn't know I was going live, and then at 7:10 I tell Gina, the phone might start to ring. She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because we're going to go live." Pretty wild that I'm at home in Valparaiso, Indiana. You're in Dodge City, Kansas. There's a couple hundred people watching. You had asked before we started, how many people do you think will join? I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a couple hundred join. 210 people right now. Corey Ritter did ask a question. He probably wasn't on right when we started. We'll get to that real quick. Or let's do it at the end, because we're going to wrap everything up at the end.
Okay.
Interesting.
I did get that map though as well.
Oh, you did? You got that loaded up?
Yeah,
Okay. And if you need me to go solo on me so you could look down and do stuff, just say, hey,
Okay.
go solo for a minute, because I'm going to get this. I was trying to load stuff up before. Well, let's bring it in. Bring in that map, and then we'll continue to go from there.
Okay, we'll click it up here. This is the snapshot, Corey, of Kansas rainfall. It's Friday night's rainfall report posted Saturday morning, I believe. So you can see Dodge City there in the kind of bottom lower left.
An inch?
There's spots where the
That's
south
huge.
of Dodge got an inch. Yeah, fantastic area to get some rain.
But these purples and light blues are just spotty quarters. That's not going to.
Yeah, that light blue is not going to account to much. Even the purple's not going to amount to much. But
so we need to get in the green, dark green category, which we have. Let's go with about a third of the state had a nice rain.
And it was must have. The southern part of the state, that's the one that needs it the most. It's got heads out. We're starting to flower and fill grain. That's the area, Tommy, that needs the moisture the soonest. The further north you go, you got a little more time to receive that. But there was a little snapshot there. I'll throw that back up again. Southern Nebraska. I went up to McCook on Wednesday, and it was kind of damp going up there. And they got hit both times, Tommy, going up there in southern edge of Nebraska. They got hit Friday. They got hit Thursday. So, yeah.
I got to fix my collar. I feel like I'm all messed up here. Might have to have Gina. I'm not drinking beer for everyone who wants to know if they hear the psh. I'm drinking water. This is cherry flavored bubbly water. So I did text Brady and Connor and say, hey, let's go live. I haven't been drinking, which is always good to know. All right. Connor said, don't forget to bring in the charts and talk about the markets. What's he think? This is a 10-minute show? We got time. We got time, brother. All right. Markets. Let's go over them real quick. D's corn down 5 3/4. Soybeans down. No beans down. All the wheat's down 12 to 20. We opened up lower, and then we've had some decent volume trading there. Gold's down a little bit. Interest rates are bond market's down, which means interest rates are up slightly. The stock market closed really firm on Friday. Friday was unemployment. Thursday, Apple earnings. Apple with this, I'm going to buy $110 billion worth of my stock back. Over the weekend, we had the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting, and Warren Buffett was there. Now, as we know, Charlie Munger passed away. We talked about that, and that got brought up a lot with Warren. But Warren Buffett was bragging about how he's okay with just having hundreds of billions of dollars in cash, making 5%. And he kind of said something funny like, "Don't tell the Fed, but I kind of like this." And he's getting older. I mean, he's like the grandpa at the table who's just going to say what he wants. And he's not super big into AI or anything else, but man, what a legend. What an absolute
Mhm.
legend. If you're out there, folks, and you've never seen this story about Warren Buffett, Google, go on YouTube and search Warren Buffett HBO special. It's like a 90-minute piece, just talks about how he originally started Berkshire Hathaway with buying his first companies and stuff. All right, let's
Mhm.
start in here.
Okay.
And
Yeah. What are we looking at first here,
do what
Tommy?
you do. Well, let's warm up a little bit because I want to. China opens up at 8, and then the markets can move a little bit on the China Open. Let's talk about what you do in cattle. We'll talk a little bit about LRP, and
Okay.
this is a daily of June cattle. And oh, I
June
adjusted my
fats. Yeah.
lines.
Okay.
The green
Bear
is the
with me. My
100.
internet
Okay,
is a little
that's okay. I got you. We might have lost
minutes ago.
Brady. That's all right. Um, there he is,
I'm
Brady.
back. Yeah. My
I'm
internet's a
back.
little dicey. Every 4 or 5 minutes, I just get flashed out and then it catches
We'll get
up.
that.
I'm
We'll
good.
get that figured out.
Ah,
It's 2024. By 2025, we'll have it figured out. I gotta tell you, I have wicked, wicked, wicked quick internet. I
that's
upgraded during the pandemic, and then I
mhm,
upgraded again another year ago. And I
yeah.
call Comcast once a year and just say I'd like the newest best router. I want a tech to come out. And they go, "Well,
Mhm.
there's no problems." I go, "Well, I'll pay you a couple
See what
hundred
we
just to
can
tell me
do.
there's no."
Yeah.
And they're always out here and like I turned it up a notch. I went to the curb
Yeah.
and did this. It is not cheap. Full disclosure, I pay
Oh,
$325
wow.
just for internet.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting fiber. I think there is fiber in my subdivision.
Mhm.
So that'll be nice. But it's a price we pay, but at the point we're
You
live
need it,
streaming.
right? You
What's
need
that?
it. You need it. You need it for your job, for the live stream. We need it for markets. We live in.
I watch RFD TV streaming. I have Direct
Mhm.
TV also, but I watch a lot of things on
A lot of
Sling.
pull.
So I watch Bloomberg on Sling, CNBC on Sling,
Mhm.
RFD on their own app, and that's pretty good stuff. So let's talk cattle real quick before the 8 o'clock. China will open. What do you got for cattle, Brady? Brady, cattle expert, Dodge City, Kansas.
Yeah, I've been all over the board. You know, those high-priced feeders that guys bought in September and October, the record feeder cattle index, those actually are finishing up in the feed yard right now, Tommy. They're coming out, and a lot of red ink there. Not good performance on those animals that were bought at record high prices last fall because we just don't have the market that you had at the time. So if you were a hedger at that point in time, you did all right, but we're 20 some dollars below hedgeable, those profitable levels. You've lost, those animals didn't do so great for you. And I got to wonder about the animals that are getting placed right now and the grass cattle, just a lot of euphoric trade trying to buy that last animal going out there. But when I look at the
Can
chart,
can you explain that to me like I'm the dumbest person in the
okay,
world? Okay, so
yeah.
like
So people,
break down.
it's grass country season, Tommy. So we're taking cattle, we're buying them, we're putting out on the pasture. We're taking 4, 5, 6 weight weaned calves. We're gonna grow them and put some cheap gain on them. They're gonna gain. It's cheap, but it's not always as cheap as you want it to be. But it's cheaper than maybe feeding them some corn or something else. But we're growing them frame wise. We're getting them from four weights up to 7s, 5 weights to 8s, 6 weights to 9s. And they'll kill December, February, March, April timeframe next year. But those cattle that are getting bought, those calves, they're just euphoric. Everybody's chasing them because you got to run them on grass. If you have the grass, you can't just let it sit there. You got to put something on it. But the price of those animals is really, really high, Tommy. And you're betting on the come if you're placing them. You're betting on grid premiums above the board, or you're betting for the board to rally if you're buying some of these crazy numbers that are getting out there. We all want to be bullish, Tommy. We know
Cattle guy's always bullish. I mean, I have one cattle client who gets really bearish at times, but overall he's lost more money by being bullish and unhedged than hedged and wrong, whatever. Like they're inherently long.
So think of storing it's kind of like storing your grain in the elevator or in the bin, but you have a time when that animal has to come out. That grain has to come out of that bin. That clock's ticking. And with we can store and ignore with the grain and kind of forget about it. But with an animal, a 1,500 pound fat steer, you got to move them, Tommy. You got to move them.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's interesting. Okay,
but
last week could have been a disaster. I talked to some people in the industry who are pretty tight with a lot of people. You know, our friend Chris Swift down there in Nashville. That guy knows a lot of people in cattle. Hopefully, he's out there watching. And
yeah,
we probably went a day or two without this BS. What do you think? Safety first, 0 days since last bird flu headline. Poof, that could have been a disaster. When they start
sure.
testing the meat, I really
Yeah,
thought they're going to find a little positive and it's lights
yeah.
out, right?
Yeah, yeah. You got to love the response afterwards after that fear factor rumor that we have. But it illustrates the headline risk in this market. When you have funds that are long, they're going to fly out of that thing in a heartbeat. And one time we've talked about it before. One time it will be real and it will crater the market and it won't look back. But it kind of has a way of conditioning you to think, oh, it'll be back. It's just a headline, bounce back, and next thing you know, at some point it won't.
Well, it's 8 o'clock. China's opening.
Okay,
We got 375 people watching. Let's keep going. We're going to
pretty
give away a
awesome.
flag, folks. If you're out there, and Brady, thanks for joining on such short notice, folks. If you're out there, my wife Gina Grisafi is by the phone lines 1-855-737-farm. That won't get you connected to the show, but the stuff I was telling you, Brady, I was doing on
Mhm.
my mixer. We'll be able to bring people on the show,
Cool,
audio, bring them in, and some other really cool stuff, just like a
exciting.
real DJ. But what we want to do is offer you, if you're not a premium subscriber, we wish you were, but if you'd like a taste of premium, on Friday, Connor Bridgman and Dr. Cesar Cruz did a 40-minute special, Trouble in South America. This premium content. Premium content's $1 a day, $30 a month. You can go to www.atipromedia.com and subscribe. But if you'd like this video, we'll send it out for free. You got to email us, info@ATI ProMedia. We'll send you that link to that video or call us 1-855-737-FARM. Well, I'm in
It's
a good
worth it.
mood.
That's a good one, Tommy.
Well, that
We
video is right. If I think the employee owners at Advanced Trading and our great contributors, some are
Mhm,
paid, some aren't. I'm ultra confident we're providing $1 a day worth of value because I'm
yeah,
hosting the show and I'm learning so much from our contributors, whether it be the land talker out there or yourself or other cattle experts, hog experts. We have Tony Dunker, who's a hog expert, Advanced Trading's in-house hog expert. Tony Dunker, she's amazing. Yourself in cattle, you're a real cowboy. You're working with farmers with the grains and the meats. Your dad's a veterinarian. That's been very helpful. Uh, that's what we're doing. So I'm in a good mood, folks. If you're out there and you'd like, uh, we want to see these phone lines light up. I want to give away 2 flags tonight. This is a $30 flag. If you love America, call 1-855-737-FARM. Say, I want that flag, or email us info@ATI ProMedia. And don't worry, I got about 100 of those in the garage. So if more than 2 people call or email, we'll give away some flags tonight. Real quick, let's do a little infomercial. Tell us about LRP Insurance. Let me run the ad. I think you can talk over this. Can you
I
still
think
hear
so.
me, Brady?
I can, yep.
Tell us about LRP. What is LRP?
LRP, Livestock Risk Protection. It's a great tool for anybody in the cattle business. A foundational risk management tool, a put floor, price floor, subsidized by the government, essentially. Great entry level foundational way to protect prices out there. And you've got some premiums in these markets on the feeder cattle board where you can go out and protect prices above the record feeder cattle index. I mean, you can go out, Tommy, and protect a price at or above the record feeder cattle index. The record feeder cattle index was 254 last fall, and cow calf guys can go out and protect that. Stocker guys, if you're running grass cattle like we talked about, those high risk cattle, you're growing them, you can go out and protect a very attractive level out there, all with the ability to keep the upside open too, Tommy.
Remember that small Indiana farmer who called and he said he only had like 12, 15 head to
Mhm.
protect? Explain that one more time. Whether it's 1 or
Yeah,
10,000.
he can
Did your internet freeze up? Oh,
yeah.
we lost Brady. We
I,
lost
I
Brady to
come
the
and I
every 5
go.
minutes. That's all right.
Uh,
That's God's way of just saying we need a break from Brady. Every 5 minutes we gong him. We'll get it fixed. I'm not worried about it. All right. So got a young farmer. I know young folks. They're just
mhm.
graduating high school and they have 5 head. Can they
Yeah.
insure them?
Yes, you can. Yeah, that's a great flexibility about LRP is 1 head to 12,000 head that you can book and cover with. So flexible from that perspective. The other great benefit, Tommy, is paying at the end. With a put, you're putting money up front. With LRP, you buy the LRP coverage and you either get a bill or a check at the end based on where the market's at. So not tying up the cash in this interest rate environment is huge. That doesn't mean you can't come back in and use options to manage against it as the market moves. And that's the philosophy we preach is, this market's going to move, protect yourself before you have to. Still leave the upside open. If you got a gap, if the market continues to rally, we can always raise that floor up and ratchet it up as the market goes. Or if you get some equity in that premium in the LRP product, maybe we go protect that equity that's in there.
That sounds good. Hey, folks, if you're out there watching, we're going to get to the questions at the end. We see them coming in. Big thanks to everyone on YouTube. Big thanks to everyone out on X. If you have a question, throw it up there. Chat with us. Post a comment or a question on this video. We are ATI ProMedia, powered by Advanced Trading. It's Sunday night. We're live. 4.25, 425 people watching. You think we can go for 500?
I think, as long as you want to stay up, we can get there. I think so, Tommy.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to ask Gina.
What's the grain markets doing now? Let's see what the grain.
They're rallying on the China Open. So China opened at
Okay.
8. Corn's bouncing a little bit. Corn was down 5.5. Beans are bouncing. Let me pull up my tickets here, and I'll bring up the charts. And it's very interesting how the markets open up and they flow. But at 8 o'clock, Asia comes on board, and folks, it's 8 at night here. It's 8 in the morning in Asia, and as you know, they're one of our largest buyers of our grain, and we supply them a lot of it sometimes. Okay, let's bring in the charts. Questions, comments, light up the board. Phone lines are open. 1-855-737-FARM. Let me play that. We won't answer that phone. My wife will, but if you want a flag or if you'd like a copy of that premium video from Friday. All right, let's get in the charts. Let's you talk to cattle a little bit.
Okay.
Let's look at feeders real quick, and then we're going to move to grains. Which month of feeders would you like? This
Look
is
at
currently
October
August.
feeders. Can we jump to
Oct?
October? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mhm.
256 area, kind of the close for the week last week, but we've seen 274 back in early January timeframe. December timeframe, we saw a low that was below 238, 230 area, 235 area down in there. So lots of volatility. I mean, $40 range, $38-$40 range in feeders, October feeders. And here we are kind of stuck in the middle area of that. But 256 is that number on October feeders.
Mhm.
And that index record print, Tommy, was 254.10 last fall. So you could protect record price for last fall. If you missed the high last year, you can go hedge it for this year.
This is the active, so I imagine on my charts on Cunningham plus 500
Okay.
that it's just blending
month.
every contract. Yeah, it's constant front month.
Mhm.
And I notice on my charts on when we're streaming like this, if I go to weekly, it doesn't show up as well, although this doesn't look bad. But you
Yep.
could see this is where we were last year. And
Mhm.
then we, this was that bull market where people just bought dips, bought dips, bought dips. And they had some scaries, but nothing like this scary. You want to talk about this scary? Then we come back all the way, and then we go into bird flu. Talk about the scaries.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think a big position squeeze there in September. We talked about the kind of get me out type trade. And I think that's what a lot of what
GMO,
happened.
baby.
Yeah.
There's other
September to
symbols too.
December, flush down, but massive moves. And I think that's what makes it's so frustrating as a producer, a farmer, a rancher, whether it's corn, whether it's feeders, these big moves that shake you up and make it hard to market. And are we getting ready to do that in the corn market? Talking about Dr. Cruz's video and what with him and Connor filmed here, that premium video. What's the potential if we have a couple dominoes fall in that grain market here? Want to get excited about it? I do, Tommy.
Yeah, well, think of that, right? We're always trying to tell the grain farmer they got to be selling rallies. The cattle
Mhm.
guy, if some of these things hit in South America and come back, and I don't, obviously that 30-cent pop and then 12 on Friday, that was a good chunk of that South American news. But if we
Mhm.
continue to get bullish news out of South America, just meaning they planted a lot, but it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too this, it's too that, that could be a problem. All right, that is the cattle. Let's get in the grains real quick. And
Okay.
this is why we wanted to be on this show. Let me clean this up a little bit here. This green line here. All right,
Are we
this
gonna
is
be
D's corn. That's
yeah.
weekly. We want to get to daily and talk about how the red is the 20 and the well, what the heck happened to my little thing? I got to get that back. Here we go. Come on back. The green is the 100.
Okay.
Oh, I'm messing this all up. I can't get my little thing over here. All right, he's out that thing. But I'm going to try
D's
one
corn.
more
Is that what
time.
we're looking at here, Tommy? D's
Yeah.
24 new
Yeah.
crop corn. Okay.
I want to get
go.
this over here because I use that every day. Ah, there it is. Woo, hoo, hoo. D's 24 corn daily. Don't be touching anything. All right, green is the 100. Why is that so important when we start crossing the 100? Do you care? Do our clients care? Should they care? 465 people, should they care?
I
Is
think it
that a call
matters.
to action? I call it an actionable level. We
Yeah.
text people and say corn is at its 100-day level. But if we don't explain what that means,
Mhm.
we knew what this meant. This was right here when March options expired that Friday, miserable day when a lot of grain hit the market. A lot of store and ignore just had the bid and ask between reality and perception really hit here, and we
Yeah.
come out of it, and now we're coming back up. It's nice to see. But explain to folks out there watching, Brady, even though the market went from 450 to 480, a 30-cent rally,
Mhm.
there's also time lost here. So if you go to the middle of February to the middle of March to the middle of April, as we hit the middle of May, that cost 5, 6, 7, 8 cents a month to store that grain with all the cost, shrink, uh,
Yeah.
interest. It's not free, correct?
Yeah. Yep. And that's one thing. Yeah. Store with it, old crop primarily. If you threw it in the bin, we're 80 cents below where fall levels. There's a cost to storing that grain. Yeah, we rallied 30 cents off the low, and you get to tell some bearish analyst, I told you we were bottoming there. I told you it was going to come back, but even if we did come back to the same levels we had last fall, there's that cost of ownership, the interest, the storage, the shrink. A lot of times we don't always write the check for that, but we're paying
Or you're
for it.
writing a check one way or the other. Yeah,
Mhm.
so old crop corn bounced about 40 cents off the lows, new crop corn 30. I did have a hedger client of advanced trading call me today, and he said, I'm pretty aggressively hedged for 24. I want to be. I'm getting the crop in. Do you think I'm messed up? I said, see where we open. And if you're nervous and we can get corn down 4 or 5, let's buy some upside calls. And so we did. Folks, on Friday, corn was up 8, went to down 2, closed maybe unchanged up 1, but now we're down 5 at one point here. If you need
Mhm.
upside, it is extremely affordable to buy. We could look at some
I
these. I don't want to give specific recommendations
Yeah,
tonight. Let's just say that
but
insurance is still affordable.
yeah,
Just throwing it out there, like a D's 550 call, not the end of the world. A couple
yeah.
years ago, we were buying 6s, 7s, 8s during Ukraine, but upside's extremely affordable. Call spread. You don't need a
Mhm.
broker to do this. This isn't a sales pitch like, hey, we could do this for you. You could do this for yourself. You don't need us to do this. Now, LRP insurance and crop insurance and other things, you
Mhm.
do need a registered agent, but you can go open an account anywhere. We would hope
You
you'd give us
can.
the opportunity to
Yeah. When I think
so
of, one thing we provide to is the service and the discipline to help them do it. Do the right thing. A guy to talk to and ask, what does this sound like? It's always nice to bounce it off a soundboard somewhere and say, hey, I'm thinking about selling my grain. How many calls should I buy? It's, maybe I'd buy a few more. For what if the scenario, rolling March calls out to May or out to July, some of that guidance really we add some value there onto specifics of that. I think it can kind of pay for itself there. But the owning grain, is it better to own the physical and hope for the market to go higher and that cost of tying up that cash, or is the call cheaper to own? I think this year's proved that the call's been a really, really inexpensive way to keep the upside and manage that hidden cost, that slow bleed of interest, of storage, of
you mean
shrink.
selling your grain up here in this no time frame that didn't look that good, that $5 future level. Hey,
Hmm.
I feel horrible. I sold my grain at $5 futures. Well, you
Yeah.
store it for 4 more months, you sell it at 4.12 futures. And then if you're going to call us and harass us that we rallied 30, 40 cents, I'll still give you a flag, but there may be a couple holes in it. Well, there will be 2 holes where you could hang it on the end on your flagpole. I mean, that's fine. I did that show with Tyne Morgan, and I said that I thought corn could go the lower 3s. And
Hmm.
she goes, Tommy, have you seen the hate mail? And I go, there's no bad hate mail. These are people who know Tommy Grisafi, advanced trading. call me crazy, but we're in the first or second inning of the game here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of game left. We're real close, 491. Hey, folks, if you're out on social media, share this link. We're going to be on for another 10, 15 minutes. Repost this, share this, text it to a friend. Say, hey, I'm watching these guys. They're going over the charts. Right now, we're at the part where corn's at the 100. Did you really show them by not selling your corn at the fall? We didn't know in the fall it was going to go this low. If it did, we wouldn't be streaming on the weekends. On Sunday, we would be partying Cinco de Mayo style on our boat, or at least landing on our with a private plane to our boat. So, no, we didn't know that. But to Brady's point, having a little call loss in that grain sold and not paying operating. So instead of paying 7, 8, 9% operating, you could actually be making 5, 5.25. And that's why Warren Buffett said this weekend he loved having a couple $100 billion in cash. So we've done corn. That's May corn. This is East corn. Both
great opportunities.
Yeah, look at this May corn bouncing off the 100-day moving average. Such good support and resistance on these 100 days. Doesn't mean we can't blow through it. And we'll show you some examples of blowing through it. We blew through it here in the East, but here, not surprised at all that we're pulling right to the
they're magnets, aren't they? They just suck the buyers and sellers. They just gravitate towards
really
those levels.
Do. Let's look at beans. I think people will be surprised. These are July beans. Let me switch over to May beans. May beans stopping right there at the 100-day. We'd have to go up about another 10 cents to get up there. Heck of a ride. Look at how we stayed below the red, which is the 20, crossed over a little bull. But you want to get the big money involved, and you want to get the shorts out, and you want to get the shorts out, the hedge fund shorts. Oh, by the way, they covered a little bit. I should have popped that up. If you want, I know
we'll get some fresh charts for live at 9 in the morning, because we'll be back there and we'll get some of those.
We can't give them all, but we did hit our goal here. We just hit 500. I think that's pretty cool. 500 people watching ATI ProMedia live on a Sunday night.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you. All right, questions, comments, Peanut Gallery, Tommy Grisafi, Advanced Trading, Brady Huck.
Are you planting? I want to know if you're out there and you've been wet. Did you start planting over the weekend? Did you decide to get out there and slop it in, or what's happening in your world? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of commentary from some clients in Indiana who thought they would never ever farm again. They actually started last night. They're going all day. Big thanks to the sponsor, Red Bull, and every other caffeinated drink. But they're going hard out there. They said it's not pretty. And the very farmer who said they have too much rain now said they'll need another quarter, half inch just to smooth over their how do you word
the wheel
it?
tracks, close the wheels, the feed slice there.
So we're going to need how do you say it? We're going to need a half inch to 3/4 to cover our sins.
Oh, gosh.
My buddy Brad in Central Indiana, another friend of mine, Central Indiana planting. Clients up here not really going, but I do think we're going to get a window here in the next week. Hopefully we don't get hit with too much rain. All right, so right now, folks, we're talking charts. If you need to get a hold of us and you want Friday's premium video, again, 1-855-737-FARM, or email us info@ATI ProMedia. I got to see if we got.
That's a great video. If there's one to watch, it's this one that Connor and Dr. Cruz did on Friday, talking about South America weather, boots on the ground. Dr. Cruz, he's just has a lot of friends down there and gives a real world boots on the ground perspective, shares some videos and talks about what they're dealing with in the South and what they're dealing with in the North. Just some general things of how their production is different than the U.S. here.
Good right stuff. There, Connor B, co-host, Dr. Cesar Cruz, could have said the whole thing in Portuguese if he wanted. Guy has more contacts in South America than anyone I know. Just love looking at how he puts stuff on LinkedIn, and then people comment. And he said, the part that flooded, this break your heart, farmers. Absolutely perfect, beautiful crops gone. And he does have a little video of that. Now, granted, folks, when I show you this, just know, let me pull out this chart. This Dr. Cruz, we have a couple things. This is one area that was too dry. Let me see if I can get our heads moved over. There we are. Let's watch these videos. This is the too wet. And apologies to John Deere. This could have been a case combine too.
Ó, Rogério, a máquina do Neide. Para ajudar ainda, quase que a cônica quebrou a gabine, ó.
Well, that was something parked a little too close to the river. Now, this is a dry part. Connor, I'm going to pop up a question from Connor real quick. We got to talk about the triple threat. three-headed monster in South America, dry in central North Brazil, historic flooding in southern Brazil, and bugs in Argentina. So what we just had there was the flooding in Brazil. Let's show you a little clip here, folks, of the dryness here in the fields. Let me get rid of that Connor question. Connor, thanks for saying that. Folks, we got the questions open. Drop us a question. We're going to get those at the end. We have to do a little bit more charts, and then we'll end the show. Thanks for watching. All right, let's talk about the dry part.
Okay.
All right, that's the dry stuff. All right, bring back the charts. Are we trying to scare people? No, we're trying to educate people. It's too wet, it's too dry, it's too this, it's too that. But all in those things, those were some really, really nice, beautiful crops that are getting, I don't want to say ruined, but too dry, whatever. All right, back to the show. We are at soybeans, looking at the chart. We're talking about in all the charts how we kiss that 100-day moving average. These are May soybeans, nice little bounce. We could use some more. Let's get to what everyone's trying to plant here. Ooh, I got to adjust my little green line. Let me adjust that. That's when we do our 9 o'clock show and we do support and resistance and whatever. And that's always makes me happy when I got just a little green guy right there, 1202. And we were as low as, oh, I didn't like those lows down here. Remember this 1124. So we're in the 75-cent range. How long we've been doing that? Since January. The market's open pretty much towards the high of the years, went to low, tested the high of the year, went almost all the way back and came back and testing again. Can we hold this level? We're above the 100-day moving average.
Good thing.
What do you think?
I like it. I like being above that 100, but I gotta, as a risk manager, as a farmer, I want to protect price. I want to respect that 75-cent gain, the 50-cent gain, and say, is there something I can do to make a little investment to cover my butt in case this thing doesn't hold? Maybe, I want to keep my powder dry too, Tommy. I don't want to fire all my shots here. There's a lot of opportunity to market this crop over the next few months, but it doesn't mean sitting on my hands doing nothing is I don't think that's a good choice here. I think you want to reward the rally with something like a put floor or sales, but I'm going to own calls against those sales with as much volatility as ahead of us, uncertainty, election, South America weather, U.S. weather, a lot going on.
How about that gap between the gap between what our USDA says they have and CONAB, and then other private sources? Because we had this come out late last week. Argentine Exchange cut its corn crop estimate to 46.5 from 49.5, and then all the stuff Dr. Cruz talked about in the premium video with Connor B. Whew, the bid and ask between what our government says is there and what their governments say,
are going to come together,
and that could be. I tell you what, folks, we could trade down for a while, and we may get one of those crop reports where we pop and go limit up. And the reason I say that is that the CME group recently condensed limits, and we'll talk about that. You and I are going to go live Friday with Connor. The USDA report will probably start around 10:50, but limits are a lot smaller. I'll give you an example. I could tell you what they are. In corn, I want to say it's 30 cents now. And so in D's corn, they settled at 482 3/4. And if corn went limit up, it would be something else in 2 3/4. It would be 512 3/4. So it wouldn't be that hard to get there on if they ever really change things. So we now have 30-cent limits in corn. Okay.
Yeah.
And the wheat limits have really come down from 70 to 60 to 50, like 50 or 40-cent limits in wheat.
I think 40 cents now. Yeah.
Yeah. It surprised me because we spent so much time lower. Beans are still high, like
85 cents.
Yeah. If we go there, if we go from 1202 beans to 1285, we're going to see some hedging. All right. The reason why we're talking about hedging and protecting beans is because we know the American farmer can't store both crops. And we also know they need the cash flow better than ever because it sounds like interest rates are going to stay higher for longer, correct? Talk about that a little bit, Brady.
Yeah.
We had a meeting last week.
Yep. Interest rate seems like higher for longer here on the interest rate perspective. And, for as a grain farmer, as a cattle business, anybody in ag or businesses require a lot of capital here as an ag producer. And that matters if you're storing grain and not converting it to cash. You're borrowing the money. You're either earning 10 or paying 5. And that matters to
go the other way. Go the other way.
Oh,
Paying
earn it.
10 and yeah. Hey, you tell me where I could earn 10. I
Let's
knew what
do
you meant.
that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm
Oh, the phone
optimistic,
lines are
Tommy
lighting
G.
up. Where can
I'm
I earn 10 and
optimistic.
pay 5? We just renewed everyone's operating note at 5%. I think what Mr. Huck meant to say
Yep.
was you're either paying you could be paying 8, 9, 10, and you for sure could be earning 5. And so we're going to have to help people cash flow. Whether you think $12 is the best price ever for no beans, you have your crop insurance level. And as we continue to rally, we have a fiduciary duty to cover that gap between the crop insurance and the price. So if beans go up to $13, $14, you do nothing, they come back down to $11.50 at harvest. No one was there to cover that for you. The only real thing that's going to help you is a sale. Sales are great, and when we sell grain and it continues to go up, sometimes farmers get frustrated, and that's why we're always asking them to get involved in the derivatives that we trade so often. Okay, a little quick tidbit for the people. We're almost up 600 people. That's awesome. A little bit about advanced trading. Advanced trading's based out of Bloomington, Illinois. Brady Huck today's Dodge City, Kansas. I'm sitting in Valparaiso, Indiana. I travel up North Dakota a lot. I travel all over, folks. You probably see me speaking on different uh, Commodity Classic, or I fill in for my buddy Scott Shaladay at RFD once in a while. We're on RFD Tuesdays Tuesdays twice. We go Thursday 11:45, Tuesday 11:45, and then Tuesdays we go at 1:20 on Scott the Cow Guy. Like Scott asked me to host for him. Hey, will you come down a few days to Nashville to host? And I enjoy it. But most of all, I love being in my basement. And this new opportunity to stream is just making me so happy to get down here and just be educating people, especially in these volatile markets. All right, let's continue with the charts. Mr. Huck, if you're still there,
I'm
how's
still
your
here.
some thumbs up?
It comes and it goes. Every 4 to 5 minutes, I have a problem, Tommy. It's so wild and weird. But
Your wife's up there unplugging it. All right, let's get into something we have a resident wheat expert. Let's go Board of Trade wheat chart. Let's talk about, we're going to go active contract.
okay.
And these have really performed well. Look how we're above the red being the 20-day moving average, folks. Green being the 100. That is an explosive move here.
Crossover there, 20 to
Mhm.
over the 100.
Yeah,
Significant.
let's talk about where we went from the lows. 527 to, well, dollar move, and that's old
Significant.
crop wheat. And your wheat just had a rain that's got to really
It's
make
huge.
people happy. That's
Mhm.
that's Board of Trade front month. Let's look at like a SEP here.
Sep's good.
Something,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
looks good also. Okay, this
Yeah.
is what you're super excited about, and this is your wheat, right? Kansas
Okay.
City wheat.
KC wheat. Yeah, that's the one we market it in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Do a lot of marketing there. Yep. Got a nice shower over the weekend on parts of the crop, and other parts have a little more time for a shower. So that's good to see. But I gotta hope these prices are here at harvest, Tommy. And wheat's a global crop. We're looking at Russia as well. Russia is a number one. They went over the last 20 years. They flipped from a number one importer of wheat to a number one exporter of wheat, and they've owned this market. I tell you, I will believe that they won't be the number one exporter when I see it. That they're not going to continue to plug this market with wheat exports. I will believe that when I see it, Tommy. We just seem to get 10 cents away from gaining business, 10 cents away from gaining business, and Russia always owns it. But them having a shorter crop and higher prices definitely helps us. Got to keep the eye on the dollar too with wheat always.
Yeah, let's go talk a little bit on wheat when our good friends in China
Mhm.
pulled that trick on us where they pulled the rug. Let's look at well, it's probably not a good. Well, it's going up now because it's in delivery. But see, folks,
Okay.
here when this is when China had all those exports on the books of wheat, and
Okay.
then they dropped the hammer on us. And right here was cancel, cancel, cancel. Now this lineup is because we're in the delivery period, so it's all bets off. But
Yep.
this is when China canceled on us, and things were looking good in wheat. What that looks like on the chart. When I say things were looking good, that was like here. We were like, hey, we got some demand right here. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden they canceled. But what really got canceled were those spreads. And that's why
So
it
was
was
that Tommy? Slow that down for me a little bit. So,
yeah.
did we go from an inverse to a carry market with that spread? Is that what happened? We had
Well, here,
premium.
let's look at July SEP in the KC wheat, right?
Okay.
So we're floating around at -10, but we get all the way up to, correct me if I'm wrong, -6.5, and then we
Yeah.
just take it all the way down to here. This is when China canceled those. Remember, it said cancellation.
Yep. I
And
remember
4 or
those.
5 days of cancellations. Look what it did to the spreads.
Just
And so
crushed.
when I look at July SEP KC wheat, this is not telling me we're running out of wheat. Would you agree?
Yeah, that really that's a great chart to illustrate that. Yeah, widening of those spreads. We're paying you more later, paying you to keep it. But those spreads need to be wide with the interest. Going back to that interest rate, what's it cost to store it? We need a wider spread to pay you to store that wheat out there. It's
You
worth
know what?
more
I
tomorrow.
think my wife's cooking something awesome upstairs because it smells so good. Yeah, like, Mom, the meatloaf. All
Yeah.
right.
Look
Speaking
at
of
that
meatloaf,
number up there, TG. What's the
yeah,
number?
606, lucky 606. Hey, folks, if you're out there, give us a call. We want to give away a couple American flags. We want to give you, if you're not a subscriber of ATI Pro Media, how do you get an American flag? Well, first, you got to love America. That's a problem for some. But otherwise, for you who love America, 1-855-737-FARM. Phone lines are open. Call us and say, I want that free American flag. We'd love for you to subscribe to ATI Pro Media Premium Edition. We got to run a little ad for that. Then we're going to get into questions. We're going to keep talking about wheat. We're getting through the KC and the KC spreads. We're going to hit mini. We're going to get into the questions. Then we're going to wish everyone a good night. But let's tell everyone real quick about ATI Pro Media Premium.
Yeah.
We hope you subscribe. $1 per day. This you're getting for free. We do premium content 6 days a week. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. Well, there you go. Go to www.atipromedia, hit subscribe, enter your credit card, and we thank you for the business, for the opportunity to continue to educate. Speaking of education, we're talking about these wheat spreads acting this way. This is not a sign that we're running out of either Border Trade wheat, KC wheat, or Minneapolis wheat in the United States. The funds were short wheat, and they have and are covering, but we are not running out. Is that correct, sir?
That's what I see in the price action there. Absolutely. Yep. Globally.
Let's talk about that trade that you were pretty excited about. It was a way out one in 25. What month would you like me to click in 25?
July. I like July 25. KC wheat. Looking at that chart, I believe we tagged $7
We
Friday.
got real fresh with it. Yeah, we
Got
were
some
getting there.
hedges in place for guys. Did some stuff there on July, and I love $7. My grandpa. I've said this story before. My grandpa. He said,
But tell it
Brady,
again. Big shout out to Grandpa.
yeah, we gotta love grandpa. Grandpa said, Brady, I've sold a heck of a lot more $3 and $4 wheat than I have $6, $7 wheat. Let's go out and protect
That's sound
that.
advice. That's sound
Yeah.
advice. I bet you wasn't
Gotta
borrowing
love
as
it.
much money as
Yeah,
Grandpa.
I think that's a great tool. Great.
Oh, we lost Brady there, but don't worry.
Yeah.
That's just this little 5-minute break. Yeah.
I think that $7 level. Sorry for cutting out. That $7 level,
right.
though, it's a great area to have your first sale, your first your first commitment out there for next year's new crop. And if you're scared to sell 24 because you're a little uncertain on the production, going out there and locking something in for July 25 at $7, I think that's an actionable level, Tommy. And I love covering that sale with a call, a Dees call. I kind of like that Dees call to get the liquidity out there. The little better liquidity in those DECE options, SEP options versus going all the way up to July 25.
I like it. Last but not least, big shout out to our clients up in Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, anywhere else. This is Minneapolis wheat. This is front month July wheat. This is that old crop, folks. You've been holding on, hoping for that rally. You got your rally. Now it's raining where Brady Huck is in Dodge City, not looking at as good. We had some scale up selling for folks. 725 was a key level. We hit that. If we trade a lot lower, we're not going to have as much sold as we wanted. But even talking to people, this is a little wacky, but just looking at other years, this is very illiquid back there, but looking at SEP and DECE of multiple years. Speaking of multiple years, and it's not showing up well on my charts. Let's just get to the active Minneapolis, but we are above the 100 in both the front month and the DECE. What I do want to talk about before we go, beans are on the low right now. I'm going to help them make a new low. There we go. That was me. 12.10 and a quarter. You're welcome. Beans on the low, down 5, corn down 4.5. Let's talk about DECE 25 corn real quick. We went through the wheat, we went through the board, the KC, the mini. We've had a heck of a run. We went through the cattle. We'll go through the corn. Let's talk about DECE 25 corn, because I had a couple clients become a pretty aggressive seller here of DECE 25 corn, right up at that 4.90, 4.95, $5. We didn't get to $5, but folks, just to bring it into reality, there's 634 people watching. What's our record? What's the most we have? We're getting real doggone close.
Real close.
Yeah, let's see where they're coming from. It's always interesting.
Some of those
We got,
WASD days, we've had some big live crowds come in here,
yeah,
but
we
this
did have a
is
650. Yeah, a lot of them are coming from X. Thanks, X. Thanks, YouTube. We do like our friends, family, and supporters. All right. So we get to these levels. All right, let's go through the Board of Trade, which is interesting. The liquidity in the corn's the best of anything. So let's just talk about
Yep.
old crop corn from the beginning.
Okay.
May corn, right? 448. You showed them if you held it for since harvest, sure, we bounced 40 cents, but we're 80 cents off where you could have done it, and you paid all the costs associated with this stuff. All right, let's go through the numbers. D's 24 corn trading 478. So say you say, oh my God, I see it's partially dry in South America. I see it's flooding in Brazil. We're going in the biggest bull market ever. If you think that's true, 3 years worth of corn is undervalued. I'm not so sure that you have it right and the market has it wrong, but you are allowed to
It's a free world. We can place our
place your
positions
bets.
there.
The horse that won the Kentucky Derby was at 25-1 odds, right? So that one was going, bet $5, get 3 back, and then they have the horse that number 2 horse come from nowhere, and he won. So I like when the underdog wins. By the way,
Yeah.
And it was fun to have a Woodford Reserve. They were the sponsor, so I'm like, hey, you're the sponsor, I'll have one too, right? It was fun, especially having a daughter who goes to the University of Kentucky and stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah.
D's 24 corn 480, D's 25 490, D's 26. So you're really bulled up. Those guys at Advanced Trading, they don't know what they're doing. All the guys I follow, you said corn could go lower on U.S. Farm Report. You're a jerk. All right, D's 26 485. D's 27.
What do we got?
480, 477. Not the most liquid thing in the world, but did you hear me say the word 5 and not the word, but did you hear me say the number 5 in anything?
Not 485 maybe, but it was on the
a
wrong
lot of
side.
485s, right?
It was on the wrong
There's
side.
very, very, very. There might be like a July 25 corn has a 5 in front of it. They're to get the 5s in the corn, you got to go get the carry in the market, and that's that.
But is that carry worth it at that point? If you're gonna go sell July 25 for 5 and Deese is at 478, is 20 cents a carry worth it?
I'll know a lot better in June of 25 when we're live streaming talking about this. And what's cool about this is we could bring back that clip and do it. And that's why we run these banners, right? Futures and options have risk. You all know that, but still nice to see it in print. All right, let's get into we went through the charts. We got to get the questions, folks. If you're out there, we got a whole bunch of nice questions lining up, and we're going to do our best to answer them. We're going to if you're out there, ask a question. You're listening to ATI ProMedia. We are powered by Advanced Trading. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead, search Advanced Trading YouTube. We're on TikTok. That's fun. We take clips from our daily show and make little shorts. I like watching YouTube shorts. I get a kick out of those. All right, bonus round. We're into questions. We're talking. We're talking, and then we're talking about. Connor B said, don't forget the bugs that are eating some of the bugs. We didn't even get into the bugs yet. We are into the bug category here on the show. And of course, you have Brady Huck from Dodge City, Kansas, whose internet's coming in every 6 minutes. I have to tell you, I've done this by myself before, and there's just something so much smoother about having someone with you. So buckle your seatbelts, folks. We're talking markets. It is Sunday night. Grains are lower. USDA crop report Friday. You can catch us live at 10:50. Brady Huck, Tom Grisafi, Connor Bridgman, and we'll be breaking down the news. Friday, what happens on Friday? I always wonder if these guys don't have the numbers first. I mean, are they going to be sellers? Are they going to find extra old crop? Or, oh, there we go. Man, I miss the pits. I do. I have dreams about the pits. All right, let's dream about questions and bring them to us, folks. If you're out there on X, if you're out there on YouTube, bring the questions. This is me. Ask a question. That is my Ag Bull podcast. All right, first question. We went over this earlier, but we have 650 people watching this on the first part of the show about an hour ago. Corey Ritter. Did Brady get rain? Brady is in Dodge City, Kansas, and we got rain. Let's go over that real quick.
Kansas got some rain there. Great to see. Yep, absolutely. Southern part of the state got the most there, but a big, significant rain for the wheat that still had a chance. Now, there's some wheat that got zeroed out, some wheat that is far gone, but some of that wheat, that rain saved it. So,
Thanks for
absolutely.
asking that question, Corey. Joe Grisafi, how do we sign up for premium? Go to that's my brother, by the way, who normally is switching the buttons. Go to www.atipromedia.com. Yeah, and just hit subscribe. It's $1 a day. Great question, bro. All right, Connor B. talking about the three-headed monster. Three-headed monster in South America, dry in central North Brazil, historic flooding in southern Brazil, and bugs in Argentina. Folks, if you're just joining us on Friday, Connor B. and Dr. Cesar did this beautiful, beautiful special, and that was one for the books. And if
Yep.
you're out there and you haven't subscribed yet, we can get you that. You just need to email us or call 1-855-737-FARMER. Email us info at ATI ProMedia. If you're not a subscriber to premium content, we'll get that. That's Connor and Dr. Cesar Cruz talking about everything that happened in South America. It's hard to talk and click the buttons at the same time.
It is. Yeah, I could imagine
All right,
so.
real quick. If you love America, we'll get you a free flag. This is a flag I sent to one of our first listeners and paid subscriber. He says, thanks, Tommy G and ATI Pro Media. Man, I love giving out flags, because this country is a little divided, but you put this thing up, and this means you love America. This is the international sign for I love America, regardless of what's going on with your political agenda. Give us a call. We'll get you that flag. All right. A couple more questions, and then I got to go see what's going on upstairs. All right. This gentleman, Sean Tucker. I never remember seeing Sean pop up anything. What do you think no beans will do by mid-June? Sean, that's a great question. You know what? They could do a lot of things because say we do go delayed planting in corn, I think we're going to plant a lot more beans, right? And although the corn number came in a little small this year, remember how the corn number was so bullish and we traded up 20 cents that day and
Mhm.
on a Friday, and by Monday, Tuesday, we were almost back to lows. There was some sad trombones that we had
Mhm.
2 million less corn acres and still took her down to lows. I have no clue what beans will do on by June, but we could have more. But it's not how many do we have. What's the demand situation looking like too? That'll be interesting. Currently, beans are down 11.95. Great question. I wish I had the answer, and I absolutely know compliance would just slap us across the head if we started giving flat price advice. I could tell you where the
Mhm.
markets are right now, this very second. I can tell you what a put cost. I can tell you what your crop insurance level is. But Sean, I don't know. Do you have your beans planted? What's your APH? Are you in a wet pattern, a dry pattern? Do you have a hot basis? Do you have a new crushing plant up by you? You know, email us, call us, tell us your situation. Maybe we could at least give you some risk management guidance. All right.
Yeah. And what do
Corey
you need
Ritter
those
coming
beans
back.
to do for you? That's what I would add to Sean's comment of what do you need them to do by June?
Right. How much trouble are you in if you sell them at $9 cash at harvest because you didn't know they can go there?
Mhm.
Corey Ritter, do you feel there was much planting progress last week? Seems Indiana and Nebraska made some progress. Ooh, what do you think, Brady?
I gotta believe that these guys are good at their job. The American farmer's the best in the biz at planting the crop and getting it in the ground. We got a lot of tile. I think we made some progress. But I can't outguess these crop progress reports. I just can't outguess them, Tommy.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't. What do you think?
It's been a little. Well, I sent out a email and a text to Tom Grisafi, advanced trading clients this morning. How are things? North Dakota boys have gotten really. They're a little behind now, but it
Mhm.
is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. North Dakota boys wish they were a little further along, but it is the 5th of May. I've seen them plant corn into June, and the corn end up okay. Not the best, but
Yeah.
they have a lot of time. And you know what? They are in such a good position to plant up there. I mean, they got all the work done in the fall,
Okay.
the fertilizers down. They just need it to warm up a little bit, get a little wind, and they will go night and day and get it in. Well, will they get all the corn acres in they wanted? No, but the North Dakota's not going to plant nearly as much corn. When you look at the acres that are coming off, how we went from 92 to 90 million, a lot of that was
Mhm.
from North Dakota and other states that were heavy corn last year. You're going to see them come off. Not a couple clients in central Indiana who said they wouldn't be planting ever again. They were out last night, today, getting some text, but it's slow going. It's sticky. It's muddy. I think planting could look a little tiny bit behind this week, Corey, and then really catch up. If I talked to a client, he's in his 60s, and he said they're going night and day in eastern Iowa, and they absolutely love the rains they're getting, and that's in that drought map. I don't know if you have time, Brady, if you could pull up a drought map, but
Yeah.
we can just visualize it in our
Let's
head. We know America. where it was really red on that eastern part of Iowa, that stuff's going away. No doubt there. All right, getting towards the end of the questions, folks. If you're out there, ask us a question out on X, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. Thanks for watching tonight. Getting down to the end here. Luke, saw a dozen guys doing field work around Circleville, Ohio last Sunday. Guys doing tillage until 9:30. Y'all boys afraid of getting behind or something? Looks awful wet in western Michigan. That's not that far from me. I wonder where Luke's at in western Michigan. That would be interesting.
Okay.
I got rid of that one tractor remember that tractor that Connor showed that traded at such high levels?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got rid of that, but I still think and this is what makes me realize that I'm not that worried. I think I have did I get rid of that? The beautiful tractor and planter. I took it down. I was cleaning up the spaces, but we had a beautiful John Deere tractor and a planter and everything else, and multi-million-dollar setup just going down the road.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You guys have it in there. I don't know if this is a question so much as a comment from our good friend Rick. He got a smiley face going. Rick's laughing. He's like, "You guys are going live on a Sunday?" Yeah, just for 15 minutes. Remember when I said we're going to go for 15 minutes? That was an hour ago. All right, let's wrap it up.
I got the drought monitor and the most recent one
Wow.
and the drought change here.
I got 675 people watching us, so let's go.
My internet is good enough to be able to download stuff, but it chops out on me every 4 minutes. So get ready for that cue, that 4-minute delay here.
All right.
Here's that drought monitor. So
April 30th.
We talked about Northeast Iowa, the change we've seen there, and what the change will be like from this week to last week. I mean, this is a week old here, almost, but released on May 2nd. But we'll get another one next Thursday.
Yeah, and that is gonna change a lot. They're having some flooding down in Texas, a little too wet. One of my Texas clients, they can't get the cotton in. This North Dakota part up here, I don't think that'll be there. This whole part of Iowa, I don't think that drought map will look like that. Now, I may not be the world's smartest guy, but when there's this much white on the state of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, clients in New York, who's going to get a lot of rain this week? Tennessee, Kentucky, this whole Mid-South, they're going to get hit pretty good, 3 to 5 inches down there. But that rain going down there is what's going to let our I-State boys get her in. I think the Iowa boys, going back to Corey's question, I think they'll do a great job working night and day. It's May 5th, folks. It's May 5th. We have time. And you know what? I think the markets are saying that. Like, they really got ahead of themselves. One thing I didn't like before we end the show, May corn, and even though that's deliverable, May corn didn't trade well the other day. On Friday, all the corns were up a lot, and then May corn was the first one to give it up real quick. Let me see how hard. Now it's in the delivery phase, but if it's going up there and then backing off, I talked to corporate and asked them what they thought of the price action. I said, did the corn market do what it needed to do to get as many bushels bought as it did? So just real quick, folks, on May corn, which is deliverable, not a whole lot of people messing with this, but it went up to 458. It's down to 4444. That would be 444 and a half. We're way off Friday's high. That is not a short squeeze there, Brady Huck. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when May corn's in delivery, that cash market keeps that market in check, right? If it gets too far out of whack one way or another, it makes it enticing for a buyer or a seller to take a position to make that market converge, right? So,
well, yeah, I wish I had someone from the commercial department on
they
here.
explain it 10 times better.
There's a delivery process, and it's based on the rivers, and there's points of delivery. It's go time if you have that corn. That when front month corn goes up like that, and comes down, it is not a sign we're running out. If you give me a second, go full screen and talk about something. Just talk. All right, just talk.
I need.
I actually have a text from Kurt Struber. Kurt Struber, who's one of our fine commercial brokers. And let me get that text up.
I'm going to throw this change up here as we just.
That's the talk I'm looking about. Talk about filling up something.
We got to cover up that mug there for a minute.
All right, you ready? I have.
I'm ready.
All right, let's go back to me and back to the show. All right, this is from Kurt Struber, commercial broker. We're not stopping until we have 700 people watching us live. We're at 689.
11 away.
I said to Kurt, May corn selling off. have markets bought what they need, cash markets? I said, I'm asking, not telling, meaning like, please help me. What's going on? Kurt Struber, commercial broker.
Great. Yeah.
Good looking and smart. Not a combo you always see in commercial brokers, but Kurt's got it both going on. He said, I think that's a fair assessment. At least in the near short term, the whole forward skew is weakening a bit. We saw an uptick in movement this week, so that helps ease basis. Freight up on movement, and CAF is not absorbing all of that. That's the smart guy stuff, right? That's the smart guy stuff. Hey, Sean Tucker came in with a follow-up question or comment here. Let's address that. Thanks, Sean. What do we got here?
It's raining
All
now.
right.
All of guys raring to go another week behind for Western Kentucky.
Yeah,
So
the Kentucky boys are going to get the rain down there.
Sean. I could use some of that moisture. Send it our way.
Oh man, I tell you what, 697. Whew, what a great crowd, folks. If you're out there, Sean, thanks for. We'll be thinking about you, and you do have a nice long window down south. You're not in Winnipeg. You know, you can get it in a little late and still have a great crop with a nice summer. But what they should be worried about, folks getting in late, is that we come into like a really hot period then in June and July. And so if everyone works really hard to get all their corn in 2 weeks, then it gets really hot at the end of June and July, then we could have a problem.
Flash drought situation. Shallow roots,
a real drought situation. Yeah, it's never. They'll say, oh, we got all that rain in the beginning. Real quick, folks, if you're out there, we'd love to give away American flag, 1-855-737-FARM. Picture of these beautiful flags flying here when we give them away right there, Lear Farms. Tommy G, thanks for the flag. We love. Oh, I found that picture. I found it. This is why I am not worried that this crop will get in. When you have setups like this, tractors like this, planters like this going full stream, man, I just can't bet against the American farmer. And I said on Friday, Mark Gold, top turd. He says never bet against the American farmer. I learned that from Mark when I worked at Iowa Grain when I was a young man. Any more questions or comments from the peanut gallery? Oh, here we go. Turn Brady loose on cotton for a few minutes, Tommy. I don't know how much Brady knows about cotton besides it's the fabric of our life.
I can pretend to know a lot of things, Tommy. I'm pretty good at that. But
do you have any cotton by you?
We got 3 gins in Kansas, in the southern edge of Kansas, and cotton the last 5-8 years has really crept north into Kansas area. So I deal with some guys with some cotton. There was a big cotton boom probably 3 years ago before this COVID stuff and the COVID boom. Guys switched to a lot of cotton. The stripper balers came in, and that changed the game on the harvesting and all that, the $1 million machines. But cotton, the scariest thing for me with cotton, Luke, is the reliance it has on the export market and China, and then the fabric of our lives. It's just we can live without t-shirts for a while. The American consumer can stop buying clothing for a few months and get by. We don't have to have that, but we got to have food. So that's one thing that really scares me with the cotton market, and it's been a volatile ride. I think we talked about the July chart. Yeah, big rain. You and Connor broke that down a couple days ago. Significant move.
Yeah, I don't want to end. I'm having too much fun. We didn't talk about outside markets. Let's add them to the stage. Bring them onto the show. Daily.
Bring them in.
Bring them in. Dow Jones. Welcome to the show, Dow Jones. All right. Monster day in the Dow Jones on Friday, up 4-something, 5-something. It's up 33 right now, but we came off our highs at 40,000, went down to 38,000. The green line, folks, is the 100-day, just like we talked about in the grains that's been phenomenal resistance. It's resistance till it's not, and then becomes support, right? But the green line hanging out down there, 100-day moving average. And boy, did it hold. Look at this. Lows there, lows right before here. Then we had Apple come out with earnings. And then we just all eyes on that. I did learn this week through a service I subscribe to. I also subscribe to stuff, is that during political elections that we tend to trade positive in the summer months when usually they say sell in May and go away. They could trade up. Let's look at the S&P 500. Same thing, green line, support a little stronger. NASDAQ extremely volatile, active here on the NASDAQ here. And that down line really hurt. But in the big scheme, folks, if you look at let's go to a monthly. it's going to look ugly. But these things go from the bottom left to the top right. Look at this. This is
Parabolic. Wow, look at that move.
look at
That's
this. Just
huge.
going back, if we can go all the way back to when this NASDAQ was in the lower thousands, right? And to
that
where
low
it is
interest
now.
rate environment, if you had your money parked in cash in that time frame,
We are
wow.
not in that environment now, and we're still doing well. Real quick, the reason I wanted to go back into the charts was I did want to bring up Bitcoin. I do trade a little bit of Bitcoin futures at the CME Group. They have micros, and I do enjoy keeping a couple of those on. I did a couple tonight just keep an eye on them. Right, these micros are such small contracts. Of course,
$62,000 contract. Tommy's keeping a couple on.
No. These are the micro.
Oh, the mini,
micro.
the tinies.
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
little babies. No. Like a 1/20th. I think you own a 1/10 of a Bitcoin. So if a Bitcoin's worth $60,000, if it went to zero, you'd lose $6,000 one lot, something like that. Anyway,
Gotcha.
futures and options have risk as we talk about Bitcoin. But the CME Group does have Bitcoin, and it flows through your account. If you call me and say do a Bitcoin for me, I'm not doing it. I'm going to tell you call Chuck Schwab and the boys and go do Bitcoin anywhere but here. I'm not making a margin call because someone knew what Bitcoin couldn't do. But I do like watching it. I do like watching the flow. Real quick, folks, this Bitcoin did really poorly a couple weeks ago. Remember when when Israel went back and attacked Iran?
Yeah, as a hedge, gold did much better as a flight to safety, right?
Yes, Bitcoin went down $6,000 per Bitcoin, and gold went up $40 per ounce, and a lot of wild swings here. But Bitcoin had that heck of a rally since January, 40,000 almost up to 75, coming back down. Well, Mr. Huck, I don't know what else we could talk about. We went through the triple threat. I don't know how to explain to people just joining about the bugs in South America. Any more questions, comments? Oh my God, Luke, any thoughts on grain-based ETFs? Oh, that's simple. You want to talk about that or you want me to do it?
You take it, Tommy.
All right, you can go on your stock account and buy wheat, corn. It's legit, but you have to have a lot more money compared to what you can do with the margins here.
Front month based too, very much so with those ETFs as well, right? So
it is what blew wheat up an extra $2-3 when that ETF had to roll, and that was an absolute disaster. So when wheat was at 12 and it went to 14.50 briefly, and then went all the way back down to 5.50, part of that was from those ETFs. So if someone said, "What is a corn ETF?" If I just Google corn ETF, and the symbol is these are from I don't know how you say that word. Yeah, Techrum Corn Fund. And the symbol is it's usually like it's right there, CORN. So if you go to Techrum ETF, that's spelled TEUCRIUM. They have a corn in their portfolio. They have wheat. They have different here. I'm gonna hit the funds button. Corn, wheat, soy, cane holdings, tags, pretty much that's interesting. So you can buy corn in the form of a stock, and that's what he's talking about. I mean, if you're going to do it, just man up and buy the futures or options or something. But
kind of, when I think of it, I think of exactly your point of man up and own the actual real thing that's maybe meant to trade the value of and match. If you're worried about futures not working the way you want them to work, those ETFs, I'd be even more worried about.
Well, over history, grains go down. And so if you go buy a grain ETF and it's always long and always being rolled, I don't know how that's going to work out. But
strategy.
Some of the best commodity traders in the world are great sellers. Some of the best stock traders in the world are great buyers of buying dips and selling rips. Little comment on cocoa from Mr. Rick. Cocoa was down like 30% on the week. Extreme volatility on the cocoa front. All right. I got to go upstairs and see what the heck Gina G's cooking.
We got to save some for the Live at 9 show anyway, Tommy. We got a whole.
I had fun. I had fun. We have 730 people watching. From the bottom of my heart, Tommy Grisafi in Valparaiso, Indiana. Thank you very much. Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas. Grains are lower. Brady Huck received a rain. We have a USDA crop report. If you enjoyed the show, come around tomorrow at 9. We'll be doing it again. If you would like a little bit more information, give us a call or email. Of course, if you want to subscribe to Premium, go to www.atipromedia.com. Hit subscribe, $1 a day, get premium content, like short bits of this. With that, my wife, Gina G, is going to close up the show. She's going to ask you to like and subscribe and If you do subscribe, it'll sound like this. You subscribe, right? You hit the bell. Go on our YouTube channel, Advanced Trading YouTube, and subscribe for notifications. You'll get more like this. I hope you all have a great year. And to the farmers out there, can I give you what a John Deere 4020 sounds like starting up? To the farmers out there trying to plant the crop, this one's for you. We're up here in a second. Listen to this. Full throttle, boss. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ah, there it is. Hammer down, boys and girls. Get this crop in. Thanks for watching ATI ProMedia Team. Not premium, normal edition. And we are out of here. Gina's going to ask you to like and subscribe. I had a fun time. We were hoping for 200. We ended up with 725. Brady Huck should have been a cowboy. When are you going to go on live TV again on RFD? I noticed you were on there. That was a great episode. God, you were good. Better than Connor, for sure.
Always got to give Connor some crap, don't we?
You remember Connor, don't you?
Connor. I remember that guy.
See you tomorrow, buddy.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.